Hi, welcome back to another video. My name's Nick. We're going to be doing a blend door actuator on this here Raptor. This is a 2014 model. Basically, it's going to be the same thing. There's only one other difference. It's going to be this right here. But we're going to go ahead and solve that right now. It's out of our way. Now it's just like every other F-150. So you can take a pick. You can take this little mat up here. Get that mat out of the way. And then the only socket you're going to need is going to be a 7mm. There's going to be two here and one down here, and I'll show you that here in a second. So let me go ahead and remove these two up top. All right, those are up. Now this, we just need to get this out of our way. So just unplug everything in here. If you just have a standard F-150, you're not going to have this, so just ignore this step. You'll have just a cup holder or something right there. So moving on to the next step, pick up your pick again. We're going to come in here and just flip the pick up and around, and then just pull back on this panel here and get that out of the way. Throw that up there. And then there will be another panel right here where it says Sync Microsoft. You're going to go ahead and just take your pick gently. Try not to scratch it. Or if it's your own truck and you don't care, then that's up to you. But since this is a customer vehicle, we're going to try and do this with a little bit of care. We can just get in there just enough to just pop it loose. Oh. There we go. Got up underneath it. Now you can just pull back. It just pops out. There is a 7mm behind here. All right, so I've got this off now. A little trick that I'm gonna put out here that I kind of just found out myself is that while this is in here, if you remove this bottom panel while you're already in there, go and put your finger up against one of the sides here on this clip, push up against it, then you can take a pick and then just drag it here, and then it'll come out one side and the other side just follows. So once you got this out, go ahead and take the connectors off, get those out of the way, and then get this piece just out of the road. There we go. Now those connectors are out. Now we can move on to our next step. So our next step, there should be a 7mm right there. I'm going to use my little extension. I'll put this right here. Zip that on out. All right, there's 3 bolts out. This should be a little bit loose, just to test it. Yep. All right, now we can start getting back here on these panels on the side and start pulling up these a little bit. And I would recommend you use a trim tool or a plastic trim tool. Let's see if I can just do it with my bare hand real quick. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. This might be one of those times I can't. Yep, can't get a good enough grip on it. Yep. But you can see it stretches up right here, and it's just enough to where this bezel for this radio just has a little groove that sits in these trim pieces. So I'm gonna go and get a plastic trim tool and I'll be right back. All right, we got some tools here from a breakout kit. See if we can utilize these. Let me just get this out of our way. Reach in there, pull that on out so I have a good grip. Pull that back. We'll just work our way up. Just like that. Should be just enough to sneak it out. Now I need to do the same to this side. Get this pulled out a little bit. lift up. Wish I had some better trim tools here.
Want me to move?
No, you're good. All right, that should be hopefully just enough to get these to just come on out of here. Yep, we got that separated. Let's separate these a little bit more. If I can get these out of my way. There we go. Now, you should be able to just pull this back. You may have to stretch these a little bit just to get these out. There you go. There we go. Just like that. Now you don't have to remove all that crap like the instructions tell you to. So now...
Yeah, how many of these have you done now?
Probably 100 or more.
Yeah. That's how many times the Ford ACs have this blend door problem. So you can learn all the shortcuts.
Oh yeah. This one's gonna be a little bit stubborn. Take a pick and just push down on that release tab. Be careful not to stab myself. And then, there you go. Your radio bezel is out.
Rainbow.
Alright, we're going to remove your radio. Give me 4 main bolts on that, and we'll get that thing back.
What size are you using?
7mm.
7mm.
That's all you're gonna need on this job. Unless your blend door actuator has been replaced before and they threw an 8mm in there. But not likely.
Yeah, no, I've been driving around with this thing tinkering for over a year, brother.
Alrighty. And so we're gonna go ahead and disconnect our radio. Our radio's out. And now you should be able to see your little bad boy right there. And there it is. That is your blend door actuator. All right, so.
The source of all of my frustrations.
Yes. Now, I believe your actuator is in fact an 8mm. If I can remember where I put that at. Here it is. Let's see. Yep, it is in fact an 8mm. So, that. We take our baby ratchet, and I'm going to be using just a basic ratchet that anyone can get. This is a ratchet you can get at O'Reilly's, Home Depot, AutoZone, anywhere really. So, no excuses for anyone out there. You all can do this. So once you get that started, you really don't need a ratchet anymore. Once you got it coming off, you can just stick your socket on there and just twist off with your hand like you're using a screwdriver. Because they are not fastener screws, they're just standard screws. And then when it comes to getting to the back bolt, unless you got some seriously tiny hands, and I've got smaller hands, but they're certainly not that small, I would recommend taking off your glove box here or just dropping it down, get it out of your way. If you got a bunch of crap in here, you get that out so it doesn't get all over the floor. And then you're gonna wanna go and stick your arm up in here so you can get to the back of it. And you can see my finger down in there. That's going up through the glove box. So there's that, where the bolt is right there, my finger's touching. That's where that 8mm is, and there should only be 2 bolts that hold this thing in. Let's see. Is it up there? Where did I put it? There it is. I'm going to see if I can get it off with just my hands instead of having to shove a ratchet all the way up in there. A ratchet may be necessary. So I've got that going in there. Let's see if I can get this little baby ratchet to sit down on that. Oh, it's gonna be tight. Alright, so I was able to get that ratchet on there and bust it loose. And again, I was using just a standard Home Depot, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Power Torque, whatever ratchet, just a standard baby 1/4-inch ratchet. So you don't need any special swivel head or anything like that to get to it, even though it's tight. You just gotta sneak it in there. And then once it's loose enough, you should be able to just get your hand on it and take it loose. Unfortunately, it's not loose enough yet, so I'm gonna have to continue working at it with the ratchet. But this will just prove to you that I can get this thing up in here and get it on the bolt. There it is. Oh yeah, I've got it.
While you're at it, here's a good question. What if you got big guy hands?
Well, if you got big guy hands, you put some lube on your hands. It's the only advice I've got for you.
Or would you just have, I've seen it on other videos where people have had to remove both of these and that, and then remove the whole unit just to try to get to it.
Yep.
So I guess if you're a bigger guy with
If you're a bigger guy with ginormous hands, you're not going to be able to get this job done. If you're a guy with just normal size hands, although I don't really think there's a normal size.
I'm going with that.
All right, so went ahead and got those bolts off of it now. Now you can either go in right here and grab it, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and go up in here and pop it loose so you guys can see. And just wiggle, 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 pops up. And then connector still plugged in. I would recommend you pull this as far as you can without having to pull the connector. That way it's easier to put the connector on the new actuator. That way you're not in there kind of having to fight a connector getting it out. So push that back and push it down and pull the connector. And there you go. You got yourself an actuator. Garbage.
Yeah, that would have taken me about 2 hours.
Garbage. All right, so went ahead and got those bolts off of it now. Now you can either go in right here and grab it, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and go up in here and pop it loose so you guys can see. And just wiggle, 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 pops up. And then connector still plugged in. I would recommend you pull this as far as you can without having to pull the connector. That way it's easier to put the connector on the new actuator. That way you're not in there kind of having to fight a connector getting it out. So push that back and push it down and pull the connector. And there you go. You got yourself an actuator. Garbage.
Yeah, that would have taken me about 2 hours.
Garbage. So when you have your new actuator, typically they're not going to be aligned. One of two ways you can do this. If they're close enough, like in this case they're pretty dang close, I may have to adjust it. But the way I would usually go about adjusting these if they're really far off is you will take your new actuator, you'll plug in your bezel here, you'll go in and just plug in your AC controller, and then just don't plug in the actuator all the way. Just kind of put the plug in there. If it moves to where you want it, awesome. Unplug it and then set it in there. And then once you plug it in, it'll run through its own sweep and then auto adjust itself. But in this case, it's close enough to where I think I might be able to just sneak it on up in there from the top here. And we'll see if I can get that flat part to come around and I can just turn this door. That'll make my life very easy. Let's see. Let us see. Here we go. Let's see. Yep, see that door's at the maximum it's gonna move. Maybe not. Let's see. Nope, it's just caught up on this cable here. There we go. I'm gonna stick my hand in there and swing this thing into place. If I can just get it to. There we go. Now I should sit down where I need it to sit. All right, now it's in place. I'm gonna go ahead and sneak the connector on there. Yeah, so it should sit down about perfect. There we go. Come on, you. I need you to sit down where I'm telling you to. All right, there we go. I got it to sit down. Now I can take the actuator back out and then plug it in. Plug out. Plug this actuator in. There we go. And then now it's just a matter of sitting it down in its spot. There we go. Just like that. And now basically just reverse order of how you installed it and you will be done. Oh, and I'm using the wrong hardware here. These were 8mm, so make sure you put those back. It's not really super crucial. It's the same type of fastener, so if you do end up mixing them up, it's not the end of the world. And of course, go up behind here with my other bolt. Snug that in there. There we go. It's now started. Let's see if I can find that ratchet. And that's my 8mm. There we go. Now if I can just sneak my hand around there. There we go. Now it's too tight to where I can't move it with my hands anymore. Just because of how tight it is in there. Not a whole lot of wiggle room. So now I'm just gonna get this ratchet back up in here, make sure I'm on, yep, set for tightening. And then I'll put my hand up on the actual socket and just hold that in place while I kind of do whatever I need to do to move this ratchet back and forth. And I'm also, as I'm grabbing the socket, I'm trying to push down on it just because these bolt heads are a little bit thinner, a little bit shallower, so they're harder to keep a good bite on them if you're kind of loosely doing it. So you want to put a little bit of pressure down on them. And just like that. Once you get them down to sit down, or once you get them to sit all the way down, you don't really need to put a ratchet on them and tighten really at all. You just need to sit them down, they'll sit there. It's like a wood screw. Once it's certain depth is set, it'll stay there, it doesn't move, it doesn't back out. So just basically set it down there, don't over tighten it, don't crack your new actuator, and then from there, we'll go ahead and start putting on our bezels again. So Oh, we're gonna go ahead and put the radio in. Yoink. And you can't mess putting the radio in either backwards or upside down. There's guide pins here, 2 holes up there, that's where they go. Make sure you plug in your radio before you stick it in there because the wires are short. Get that plugged in. Get that one plugged in. 2 connectors for that. Your radio may be a little bit different depending on what model you have, but it's basically all the same. And we're gonna have to maybe smart to use a magnet just to set them in here, but I don't feel like going to get one, so I'm just gonna use my hands. There's one started. Alright. There's 2 started. I just need to get my ratchet or my extension with the 7mm on it, which is right here. Definitely do not start these with an impact. If you're going to use an impact, start them with your hands. These are thin brackets. You can easily start messing stuff up or breaking plastic, so I highly recommend you use just your hands. And if you're going to use any kind of electric assisted tool, use only an electric ratchet. Don't use an impact. Unless you're very used to using an impact, then go for it. And then the last one.
I got a question for you.
What's that?
How'd it go the first time you did this?
Um,
A little longer?
well, the first time I did it, I had just followed the repair instructions and removed the entire dash.
Ooh.
So.
This seemed to go a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even the dashes on these things, I've done them to the point where it doesn't even take that long to do the whole dash itself anymore. So that's a bonus to that.
I think a lot of people watch YouTube videos and think, oh, I can just jump in there and do it. And it's like, well, there's been some hard-earned lessons along the way, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. But if you're willing to jump in and do it, then
you can get it done.
You can definitely get it done.
You know, there's you that can do it in 20, 30 minutes, and there's others I've seen take 2 to 3 hours.
All right. It's down in there good. All right, I need a magnet, and I'm gonna get your bolt back.
How to retrieve the lost screw moss.
Yep, there it is. It returns from the depths of the shifter column. All right, so we got 4 in there. Make sure all of our connectors are out. Yep. Yep. All right. Now we can work on getting this thing put back in. After you tighten up all the radio bolts. I know I've got an electric ratchet sitting next to me, but I'm feeling a little old school right now, so I'm just gonna use a hand ratchet. That, and also make sure I don't bust any plastic off, because these Fords are known for aging and having really brittle plastic, especially right here. They'll break, and there's nothing you can do about it. No amount of careful, nothing. As soon as you put a ratchet on it or even look at it, they just break. That's usually the trucks you find that are living most of their lives down on the coast. Okay, now we can start putting these back. Put your connectors back in. Two on the back on the bottom. Feed your two auxiliary connectors through the plate. And then make sure you plug in your hazards and your traction control light. And then just line that up. Push the driver's side in first. Pull up on this trim. And it should just pop in there. Just like that. Now you can put your 3 bolts back in. Where did the third one go? Where did it go?
I got some editing to do.
I know I only dropped one. The rest of them should be up there. What the heck? So an extensive shirts. Found it fell on the floor. I didn't notice it. So we got our bolt back. And we're gonna put that down there. Put that down there. Put it down there. And you go ahead and tighten it up. I'm just gonna get them started. I'm gonna use my electric ratchet because I've already had my taste of old school. And I'm ready to go back to the new school. Careful not to over tighten these. These are the ones I'm talking about that break on the top of the radio. So if you're gonna use these, definitely have your ears open for any cracking. Now put on our baby extension. Now go on the bottom here. Now we can grab our little trim piece, our Microsoft, plug that back in. Lock that clip, shove it in there, just like that. And now we take our base plate here, just like that. Take your hands here, and we're just gonna push those back into place. We're going to need a trim tool. There we go, just like that. Push that back in, make sure that's in there. Then plug in, if you have a Raptor, plug in your auxiliary switches. If they will cooperate with you.
One thing I'll tell you, if you're on YouTube watching this, then you should definitely, like, you know, you could take a picture of the wires beforehand, so just in case if you get to that step and you can't remember, it's always a good idea to take pictures along the way.
Especially if you're the big hand guys and definitely have to pull that dash to get it out, then most definitely.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue.
But just like that, we're done. Go ahead and put your key in. Go ahead and run a functions check. So we still got a click going on. We have another actuator that's out. We'll change our temperature. And it may click when you first get it because it still hasn't fully done the full sweep, so it might take a second. Very nice. No more clicky. Let's see if this side will click. So this is a dual climate zone. There's gonna be 2 actuators that run each side. And they're not clicking anymore.
Thank God. So you just run it through a cycle?
Yep,
wanna
you
explain
just
that
go
real quick?
hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, cycle the key off, and that's it. You're basically done. There's no real special procedure for learning these things in. If you do have a Chevy and you end up changing the actuators, there is a process you can run. You have to have a scan tool. It won't do it just on its own, but for the Fords, typically no. There is no special way to do it. You just run it through its cycle, let the actuator get accumulated or acclimated to its sweep cycle, and then you're done, just like that.
Easy
So,
enough.
yep.
That's what it looks like when you've done 100 of them. Or more.
Or more. Well,
more,
I don't know.
exactly.
I've lost count.
All I can tell you is I've been listening to that thing for so long. And as I said on a previous video, thank you, Ford, for using a cheap plastic piece that required all of this. I just want to tell you, this is from a guy that's owned many Fords in my life. Thank you, Ford.